Hello, welcome to Geoff Schwartz is Smarter Than You. Geoff Schwartz is Smarter Than You is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Today is Tuesday, November 18th, Gabe, and we are here to talk about the National Football League that was, and maybe a little future, and also big game in this podcast. Saturday, Eugene, Oregon, 3:30 Eastern. Game day is going to be there. We'll talk about USC versus Oregon here. We get to college football at the end of the show. Gabe, how was your weekend? I don't know if you have kids' sports right now, but good weekend for ball. Really fun weekend to watch football.
Yes, I tried to watch football while coaching basketball, and might have to do a bit of that again for this Oregon game coming up. Geoff, you see, you're lucky. Football is your profession. You know,
Yes.
Your family accepts this. Your weekends are carved out for football. That is not necessarily the case in my household.
Yeah, I have to, I've told this before, I have to pick a day. So basically, I pick Sunday as my football day. But what I do is we have family over, so Meredith feels like it's not just a football watching day. So like we have people over every Sunday, and one of them is our cousin who's a big Bills fan. So like we have football on and we invite people over. Saturday is like kids' day. To your point, like if my kids have sports, we're doing the sports obviously, and I'm watching on my phone. The thing about Oregon being in the Big Ten now is our games are a lot earlier. Like this was not a thing. Like for years, Oregon was playing 8 p.m. Eastern, most of their games, even 10:30 Eastern. We've had now multiple weeks where we're 3:30 Eastern. We had it Indiana. We had it, we're going to have it last week. Oh, no, excuse me, Iowa. We're having it this week against USC. So I've told my wife that on Saturday at 3:30, I'm going to be busy. So that's that. Hopefully she accepts that and we move it along.
Yeah, well, that's 12:30 out here, and that is prime
Yeah, you're kind
sports
of screwed. Yeah, you're kind of screwed. Another thing we do too, your kids are not at this age yet, is like if Oregon's playing on Saturday, at 3:30 as they are, as I mentioned 100 times now, I will invite friends over to hang out with my kids. So like there's no parenting that has to be done. So like the kids are they're just roaming the house, I'll order them a pizza, and we won't see the kids for 4 or 5 hours. Game. So my wife doesn't have to watch the kids. I can watch football, and my kids are happy, having friends over to play with.
Yeah, so that's what happened for me during this Chiefs-Broncos game on Sunday, the one I'm itching to talk to you about. Had a whole baseball team running around, keeping each other occupied for the end-of-season party. The
Smart.
big TV was on the Rams game. Didn't think we needed to pay attention to Broncos-Chiefs. Figured that's a Chiefs dub. Well, thanks to a kicker and this Tebow-like vibe that's happening in Denver, as I called, you are now trailing the division by I don't even know how many damn games, losing to a team that my buddy Nick Wright said would finish in last. What the hell is going on, man? I really, though, for real now, what is going on? Because Travis tried to play. They tried to give him their best game. Didn't work.
So there's two things happening that are probably related, but we'll talk about them in order that I think are most important. One is that we've talked about this for years, Gabe, right? The Chiefs, their superpower was essentially winning all the big moments in all the games, where no matter how sloppy it was, and we know NFL games, whether you're scoring a bunch of points or not scoring points, they're typically within 7 points with 2 minutes left, right? It's what the NFL is. And they've always won the moments. Whenever there was a big moment, whether you need to get a first down, whether you need to kick a field goal, we need to score a touchdown, we need to do this, that, or the other, the Chiefs made those plays. On defense, right, we need to stop. They would pressure and sack a quarterback, and they would force an incompletion. They would do whatever they had to do to get off the field, and give the ball back to their offense, or eventually win the game. And even sometimes, Gabe, just pressure beating Kansas City led teams to fumble snaps, led them to drop passes, and all these things that the Chiefs were doing, or sometimes not doing, just letting the other team lose the game, is the reason why they won close games for so many years. And now they don't make any of those plays. And that is a big problem. Think about this game, 19-19, 4 minutes left. Chiefs have the ball. And you would think to yourself, I think we all thought this, game's over, right? Drive down the field, convert a couple third downs, get Harrison Butker in position, kick a game-winning field goal, game's over. That's what the Chiefs have done for 7 years in a row now. In the exact moment on the road, rip someone's heart out and go down and score. You'll convert a third and seven when Mahomes has a great scramble, right? Travis Kelce pops open late, you throw him the ball. Like we've seen it for 7 years now, the exact same thing. Instead, it was first down incompletion. On second down, a weird formation where they had three tight ends on the field and Rashee Rice was in the running back position. And then the third play, I believe, was that pass to Smith, who's like not really ready to be in that situation as a running back out of the backfield. Excuse me, it was a sack. That was the sack, third down sack, I should say. And now you punt the ball back to Denver, and then Denver converts a 3rd and 15. They get that long pass. Like the Chiefs don't win those moments anymore, Gabe, and that's what it comes down to in the NFL. It's these little moments. Now, of course, other things happen in the game that I don't think help the Chiefs win the big moments. And part of that to me is I don't think the coaching is as good this season. It's when you look at this offense, they refuse to do the things that they're good at. And one of them is under center runs. Okay. Under center runs. They're highly efficient running the ball from under center. They might not have explosive runs, but they're highly efficient doing that. And in their mind, they only do it to throw play action passes. And my brother put out a great tweet. You go check it out. It's very true. When teams do play action pass, Gabe, right? They're under center, they play action pass. It's typically a great play for them. It's opportunities. But the team has to respect you're going to run the football. No one respects the Chiefs are actually going to run the football. So when they play action pass, there's no sell, and the defense just immediately backs up, gets in the zone coverage, and no one's going to be open. And so it's little things like that where the Chiefs' refusal to do what works for them and Andy's insistence on passing the football is really killing an offense that really is actually good at running the football. And that's the thing about the Chiefs too is I saw a tweet yesterday that PFF ranks, they have their rankings and they say like who has the best supporting cast for the quarterback. And the Chiefs are seventh. Like they have legitimately the best players they've had on offense in a long time. You add in a Mahomes interception in the first half. That was a bad interception. Chris Jones says after the game that they knew what we were doing on third down. They kept running the same pressure over and over again. So that's why I think it's a coaching thing. It's not executing thing. They're like 10% worse all over the field. And that's the reason why the Chiefs are not very good right now. Where Denver, as much as I think, and you might think, and we might think like, how good are they? They've won those moments this season, Gabe. Like they've won the big moments. The Chiefs have not won those moments. That's my long way to say the Chiefs have not played good football.
Well, no, I looked at the sort of scoring summary and I saw what you just described. I saw Chiefs ball with about 4:10 to play, one possession game. Like, okay, how do they end up losing this game? They don't lose that game. So thank you for the explanation. I want to back up to one or two things you said. First of all, Bo Nix just has some weird thing. It's the Tebow-like thing. Apparently, he has the most fourth player comebacks by a player in his first 2 seasons ever in NFL history. Good for him. I don't know if that makes him clutch. He's not very good, but it makes him clutch, I suppose. Can we talk about the running under center and your brother Mitch, who played guard?
Yeah.
Like what the hell's that? What do you explain that? Why is that hard to do? If everyone knows that's the way to do it, why don't they just do it?
Because they're stubborn and they're set in their ways. And look, everyone in that building in Kansas City is an Andy Reid guy. Sometimes you need to have someone in the building who's not an Andy Reid guy. I'm curious if they go and find a couple voices this offseason to tell them to do stuff differently. Their offense just sort of stale, man. And Mahomes has made it work over the years, but this is not working right now. Like it's just the pass concepts are pretty stale. The run game is not well designed. And then Mahomes is missing on a couple deep passes that kind of kill him. The interception was bad. It's just a team that's not playing with much confidence on either side of the ball. And yeah, I mean, my brother sent over, I could pull up the stat. He had someone pull some of the data on the under center runs. And I mean, they're legitimately good. Okay, so here we go. This is very nerdy if you want to hear it. But
yeah, I'm into it.
The Chiefs under center runs with 3+ yards to go. So taking out short yardage because they're really good at short yardage. They're sixth in efficiency. You add short yardage, which they're incredible in, goes to second. Like they're good at running the football under center. They have good offensive line. They just don't commit to it. I mean, they gotta. The thing that I've always liked about Andy Reid is his ability to adapt and evolve in a season or year to year, right? Like they've managed to make it work with no wide receivers. They managed to make it work with a bunch of wide. They managed to make it work with different offensive line combinations. They managed to make it work all different ways. And this season, they're just not doing that, Gabe. They're not changing what they do to benefit the team on offense. And I've been there. I've only 1 year, but I've been there, and I saw them change an offense in the middle of the season because stuff didn't work. When we went to a bye after 9 games, and our offensive line coach like went down the list of run plays. It was like, this works, this works, this works. We're throwing the other ones out. And one of them was his favorite run play. It wasn't efficient. We just ran what worked for us the rest of the season. I don't know why they're being so stubborn to not do that. I know Coach Reid said, well, we have, we call runs and Pat throws the RPO. Okay, that's certainly fair, but you can also just call it and run it. You can have plays up where you design the run play to have most of the guys blocked, and there's typically always one guy left for the running back, but that guy can be a corner or safety deep, and you can have must runs. And so I just don't buy that you can't run the football because all you do is RPO. I've been on this rant about RPOs before where I get the purpose of them and they work in some instances. I don't like them as much because you can, if you want to run the football and you call an RPO, a defense can dictate you passing the football. It's a thing. It's just I just don't like the RPO that much because of that. Like if I want to run the football, I want to call an actual run. Some offenses don't have a ton of runs; they're all RPO based. You could force the offense to run to pass the ball when you want to actually run the football game. There's also advantage. There's a bunch of things that I think that are good about those RPOs, but in those instances, just call it and run it, man. And the Chiefs just don't do that right now. So a lot of football there, but there's just something missing this year with them. That being said, if they just decide, hey, how about we run the freaking ball a little bit more under center and we come up with a couple more creative things on offense, they're just as dangerous. Their defense is still good, Gabe. They're still good. They can't rush the passer, but they're still good on defense. They have good wide receivers. They have Travis Kelce. They have good offense. Like they can decide to be better and win some of these moments, and they're right back where we thought they could be. But they're not winning the division, I'll tell you that. That's not happening.
No, I think that's almost completely mathematically almost over. How about this question? There comes a point, right, when you're talking about potential GOATs. We lived through Brady Belichick. We're now experiencing Mahomes Reid. Are we at that tipping point where the power, the actual true decision making in the eyes of ownership or just sort of like some higher power out there is squarely with the quarterback, not the coach? They got here because the coach was operating a team with an all-time great QB who did what he needed to do to win the games. But then the quarterback became more powerful than the coach himself. And that some of those decisions, the RPO and then just throwing it, or the stubbornness about installing just the boring get me four up the middle in the offense. Like, is it possible that it's the Pat dominance of the team that is causing that?
So because he's so good that they refuse to take the ball out of his hands type of situation, is what you're saying?
That in the Patriots case, it might have won them an extra ring or two, where it was just like, cool, man, Tom Brady's in charge. It doesn't really matter who's on the sidelines.
But I think Pat wants to run the ball more. Like, I think he wants there to be more under. Like I think he wants the stuff I'm saying. It's just not. They're not calling it. So you're saying that he should be more forceful with coach about what to call?
No, I'm saying, is it possible that he is doing things that he thinks are right that aren't right from the coaching staff point of view, but he's the guy in charge, so they all have to go along with it?
No, I don't think that's the case. I mean, he's making, like, the interception was bad. I mean, that's what it was, but he's overthrowing a couple guys deep. I don't think that's an issue at all. No.
Okay. Well, then not to panic you or Chiefs fans who might be listening, and I know there are a few. Wild card's what you're playing for. Now, you've got the team that we try not to talk about on this show, who happen to be in first in the AFC South with an MVP candidate running back. They're playing them. They've also got the Jags, who are sneaky 6-4. They've got the Texans, who are 5-5.
No. They lost the Jags already. They lost the Jacksonville already.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'm naming the teams that would be wild card obstacles. I don't mean that they have them on their schedule. Pardon me.
Correct.
These are teams that they have to outplay down the stretch.
Jacksonville, Buffalo, maybe the Colts. Like, yes, correct. Steelers, yes.
For sure. Even maybe they get better with a different quarterback. Can they outlast these teams? Can they find that Chiefs thing?
It's a great question. So if you think 10 wins gets in, they got to win 5 of the next 7. So they have a Raiders at Titans game that they should win. So that's 2. You play a Chargers team that Herbert might, who knows if he's healthy, and that team's just a wreck right now. So let's say that's 3 wins, okay? Need 2 more wins. The Texans are not a given because their defense is really good. But I think that, and most of these games are at home, by the way. You got to feel like that's a 50-50 game. The Colts this weekend, I don't know, man. I don't really think they're going to beat the Colts unless Daniel Jones, is certainly possible. Outside, cold weather, just like shits the bed. It's certainly possible. You have a Denver game, I think week 17. That's at home, though. And you play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. So I think you play Denver on Christmas, actually, the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. I mean, look, you can win all 7. You could also lose 5, Gabe. I mean, if you tell me I get the same Chiefs team we've seen for the first 10 games, I think they win between 2 and 4 of those games.
Yeah, it's not enough.
If you tell me that it's not enough, you're right. If you tell me that we get a Chiefs team that executes 10% better, they win 5 or 6 of those games. And the thing about, I said this yesterday, people were kind of confused, but it's a very good, to me, the way to put it. Like, I don't think they're making the playoffs. Okay. Unless it's something different. I know people just keep saying, "Whoa, look, 2 years ago they lost the Raiders and then they won the Super Bowl." Okay, that's 2 years ago. The way they're playing now, unless you tell me they're going to play better to end the game, I don't think they're going to win these close games. They're 0-5 in close games this season. It's a problem. However, Gabe, if they do make the playoffs, I think they're can get back to the Super Bowl, because that means they've played a lot better and they're playing up to their standard to win enough games to get into the playoffs. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Unless if they get in, are you telling me right now, New England's a 2 seed, they're hosting Kansas City in divisional round on a Saturday night. Give me the Chiefs, right? Absolutely. Give me the Chiefs. And then the Chiefs are going to the 1 seed, Broncos or Colts on Sunday, the next weekend. I'll take the Chiefs again. You see what I mean, Gabe? There's a path very easily for the Chiefs to get back to the AFC Championship game, but they have to play better to actually get in the tournament first. And if they do that, they win 5 of the next 7 games. That's better than they've started the season. I think they're really live to get back to where they want to be. Are they going to play that well, Gabe, is the question. I don't know. I haven't seen it. And so if I see it, great. Look, they might come out this weekend, Gabe, against Indy and play their best game of the season and win the game by they beat the Lions 30-17. They beat the Colts 30-17. Okay, good start. Can you do it against the Cowboys? Can you do it against the Texans?
Yeah.
Can you do it? I don't know who they're playing, the Raiders, whatever it is. Can you do it? Can you do it every week for 7 more weeks in a row? They've proven in the past they can. Show it to me.
Yeah, it feels to me like they waited a couple weeks too long to turn it on. Every now and then I'll race a bunch of 7-year-olds, right? And I'll give them a head start. I'll say, run to that fence and back, but I'll give you a head start. And if I don't time it just right, if I give them a few extra steps, they might beat me. But if I go too soon, then it's not really any fun for anyone. The Chiefs, I think, were trying to make it fun, and then they just gave those kids a few extra steps, and they're going to lose.
They're just not as good. They're just not as good. I think that's fair. I mean, it's funny, I haven't raced my kids in a while. My kids think I'm so just slow and fat, because when they see clips of me on the field, I look slow, and I'm like, yes, on a football field, I am slow, but I'm actually very fast in real life. And they don't believe me. And I beat them in a race. My wife's 0 for 5 racing me. It just doesn't work very well.
All right. You just pivoted from beating your kids in a race to beating your wife in a race. You race your wife?
No, she gets a little bit liquored up on vacations and tries to race me every vacation. And I've beat her many times. You race your
drunk wife.
I could race her sober. I beat her too. But she'll just get a little bit, she'll be like, let's race. I'm going to beat you this time. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And then typically it's on the beach in Mexico. We're just racing each other. And it's okay, whatever you want. I'll beat you in the race again.
Yeah, I don't know if we race enough as adults. I feel like racing was like a a daily occurrence as a kid. You're like, let's just race.
Well, yeah, because now I'm worried about snapping my Achilles. So like I don't worry about that when I'm 7.
Yeah. Well, okay. So in this analogy that I concocted that got us on this tangent, I want to bring it back. The team that started losing the race to the 7-year-olds and then was like, what the hell are we doing? And then just started gunning it and hasn't really looked back is the Eagles. Right? So they're the champs, and we pretended to panic about the Eagles for the first few weeks. Their own damn wide receiver one was bitching and moaning and making it seem like something was wrong.
Bitches every week.
Yeah, he fine. But like they're good. The Eagles look really good. They're top the NFC right now. Are we saying that they have all this stuff figured out that the Chiefs didn't figure out? Is this a quirk of the schedule?
Well, no. I mean, the thing that the Eagles do, and look, their offense is never going to be pretty, I don't think. With the new OC, that's just, I mean, just Jalen Hurts like 10th OC in 10 years. It's crazy. He's put the new OC nearly every year of his career. Alabama, Oklahoma.
That excuse gets made for some guys and not others. I don't understand.
Who doesn't get made for?
I'm saying like some guys just play through that and win, and other guys get just.
Well, I mean, Hurts is playing through that and winning.
Yeah.
He won at Alabama. He won at Oklahoma. He's won Philly. But the thing the Eagles do that it's just when you win with force in the trenches, Gabe, you're going to be in every game, man. When you win with defensive line, offensive line, running game, you're going to have a chance in every game, right? Because sometimes the Eagles offense stalls out, but their defense makes the play. And their draft and development, right? Like they let a defensive tackle go, right, in the offseason. And then here comes the third defensive tackle who becomes starting to become a superstar right behind Carter and Davis. You go trade for Jalen Phillips, all of a sudden becomes a better player. And that, by the way, that's a phenomenon that is very common, right? You go from a team that's losing to a team that's winning. And I'm not saying that Jalen Phillips didn't play hard with the Dolphins, but there's a sense of like, okay, I got you to win a Super Bowl now. You're just going to play better, right? You're just going to play better. And also, he's on a team now where teams are focused on Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and not him, right? Like he gets the one-on-ones, and so he's just going to naturally play better. I will say though, Lane Johnson being out with a foot injury is a problem for them, especially with how beat up their offensive line has been this season. That does worry me. That's a big component when now your right tackle is a little more vulnerable to pressuring Jalen Hurts, where that was not a problem at all for so many years now. He's probably out for most of the season with a foot injury. But other than that, man, they just keep winning games. When the Chiefs win these games the last couple of years, we've been like, good for the Chiefs. They just know how to win. But for Philly, it's like, it's so gross. I don't like it. Who cares, man? It's week 11. Just win the games. And the Eagles just keep doing that.
Yeah, I got a question for you about that idea that when you just add a player, they suddenly start to play better. I've noticed with the Eagles defense, there's a lot of like big name college players, top recruits, like these guys who everyone saw and were like, well, he's great. And then he kind of didn't really get picked as great in the NFL. And then they show up at the Eagles and they're great again. Nakobe Dean comes to mind. Watching that guy fly all over the field, I'm like, yeah, man, that guy was awesome. What? Why are we surprised?
Because this is the problem with the combine, right? And not the combine, the whole scouting process, but part of the combine is people take so much into their athletic scores of the combine instead of just watching the film and being like, that guy can play football. I want to draft a football player. And the Eagles just draft football players, man. They draft dudes that can play football. And that it continues to be a superpower of theirs. Their draft and development is really, really good. And then, of course, they bring in a couple of free agents that hit for them. Whether it was Zach Bond, now their middle linebacker. Whether last year Slade plays really well for them. They're able to do this, right? To find a couple pieces in free agency, to find a couple pieces via trade, and also the draft and development part of this is really important. They're really good at it.
But like, how hard is it to spot the smartest player on the best defense in the country, and he's in the third round? It's like, let's draft that guy.
Because teams are dumb? I don't know. They're not all good teams.
Okay. They pick up that guy, Jalen Phillips, you mentioned. Like, I didn't realize this, but he was supposedly the best player in the country coming out of high school. He's from LA.
Yeah, he went to UCLA, yeah.
Yeah, and then he went to study music.
Yeah, he went UCLA Miami, right? I think that's how he
Yeah, he
went.
took a break though to study
Yeah,
music. Then got to
yeah,
Miami, and then everyone was like, "Duh, look at him, first rounder."
yeah, yeah. It's good. It's a good player. And then, of course, again, when you get to a winning team, you naturally just play a little bit better. I just sort of like I think Sauce Gardner's going to play better, I think, and Jalen Phillips just plays 10%, 15% better. And because like think about like I never won a Super Bowl, right? And what that does for your life, dude. Like these guys know what it means to win a
Yeah,
Super Bowl, and he's trying to win a Super Bowl. He went from a team that's a dumpster fire to potentially winning a Super Bowl. Like Sauce did the same thing. He went from the Jets to the Colts. Like you play better in that environment. You play better when you're around, winners, right? I'm sure you feel that way if you're in a group of people and your profession that are like winners. You feel like being around them probably elevates your game as well. You want to match everyone else, right? If you're on a new team like Phillips is, and you see how hard Jalen Carter's works, you see how hard Nakobe Dean works, like the guys you mentioned, you want to play that level, you want to perform at that level, so you play a little bit better. It makes a lot of sense.
yeah. I've been playing a lot of pickleball lately, and play with these guys. Mostly women in their late 50s, and some of them, like this woman Tammy, she's no joke, man. And I step up my game. Like if I'm playing with Harriet, my game is way up
Wait,
here.
is this couples pickleball or
No,
just
no, these are just other women, retirees mostly,
where do you
who
play
I
pickleball at? The
I play at
beach?
a club nearby.
You
My
join a
point is
pickleball club
just
or
if
just
I'm just playing with some guy, I'm not really anything special. But once I
I
get on the court with the best women out there, then I really step it up.
okay, are you questions. Are
Yeah.
are you is it just a pickleball club only or is it like an actual like, gym that has pickleball?
It's actually technically a yacht club, but I don't have a yacht or
Mm,
use boats.
you like it you go like the Benjamin Club
No,
that
no,
you
no, no.
drive. I was just
I think
curious,
that's the
yeah.
Jonathan Club. I think you're mixing up
Jonathan
your
Club.
names.
There we go. Jonathan Club. I've been, yeah, that's like you
The
drive.
Benjamin Club.
It's a Jonathan Club. That's what it is. Right as you enter Santa Monica.
Not there. No.
No, that place is, I think I've been there once for like a bar mitzvah or something way back in the day. It looks like everyone, it's so funny when you drive by that place. Nonetheless, so you're not probably one of those exclusive clubs, just a yacht club that has pickleball.
Yeah, I'm there for the pickleball. I play against some folks who are a bit older than me, and I was just trying to agree with your point that
I just
if
want to
I'm
know if you're in
playing
a
in a
yacht club. That's pretty impressive.
it's a long story. I'll tell you offline. But uh, if I'm playing against people who are worse than me, my game drops. If I'm playing against people who are better than me, I get better.
That's the way it works. Yeah. I mean, I do better podcasting like with Damashek, you have to get
And
fired
better
up when
than
you're
with
with them.
me? You're telling me you're giving me
No,
like average?
no, no,
All
I'm
right,
I'm 10% worse with
let's step
Damashek.
your game up here. Let's do this right now. Let's get serious for a second. I'm giving away something from later in the show.
Okay.
This is Matt Stafford's MVP season. I'm off Jonathan
Correct.
Taylor, whatever.
It's Matt
Matthew
Stafford.
Stafford's going to win an MVP, whether he deserves
Correct.
it or not. It's just going to be the cool thing to do to say Stafford deserves the MVP. They win that close game against the Seahawks. Like, the Rams are it. And he's the reason why. He's making a bunch of average players look great his whole career. I'm in, man. What's missing there?
For Stafford winning the MVP or just in general with
That
Stafford?
team.
Or
Talk to me about the Rams.
they're good, man. They're really, really good. They did a great job rebuilding on the fly. You lose Aaron Donald and you draft Jared Verse.
Verse is good, man.
Like you have that. I haven't even checked this. Matt and I bet on sacks for both Benito and Verse. I haven't checked in a while. Benito's going to go over. Verse, I think, is getting close. And look, there's just a so defensively, they're young, they're fast, they're physical. Like you can rush the passer, you have a chance in every game, of course. And then offensively, like they've sort of made it work with not a lot of depth at wide receiver, but the top end is really good. They're starting. We talked about this last week. The 13 personnel using the tight ends. Their offensive line is okay, not great, but again, they scheme things up to make it work for everyone. And Stafford's just really, really good. And so you have this combination of all those things together. And I think that, I think part of it too is like they really believe in themselves. They really believe in what in what they're doing as a team. And there's a lot of, that matters a lot too when you buy in and believe that you can win every game. And they certainly feel that way. I mean, this is another game too, by the way, that we had Rams -3, Matt and I. I mean, you force 4 turnovers and you don't cover a field goal. It's just one of those years, man. But the Rams are, I think the Rams Eagles meet again in the AFC Championship game. I feel very comfortable with that. And Stafford's going to win the MVP.
Okay. See, I didn't even have to try to convince you of anything.
No, I have we talked about this on another podcast. You're welcome
one
to check
of those
that out
ones where
days,
your game steps up.
on
One of
days
those ones
you'll
with a
listen
good
to us.
co-host.
But we have Chris Felica, the Bear, put together a parlay for us, Gabe.
Yeah.
That actually it's got a chance. Emeka Buka, Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
McCaffrey, Comeback Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Stafford, MVP.
Surprisingly enough, I feel like Ibuka is the one that you got to be worried about right now.
But who's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year at the moment? That's the problem. There's no other. It's not Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I don't have a better suggestion.
Oh, 35-1. Not bad. We'll see if that works.
That pays 35-1. You put those 4 together, it only pays 35-1.
Only?
I guess more than that, honestly. When did you make
35.
that bet?
2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
I thought that you put that in going into the year. I would not have guessed Vrabel.
No. 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
But I mean, you got Vrabel still at plus 125. I don't know what I actually haven't checked any of the odds today. The other one, by the way, we gave this out on our preview show. Carson Schlesinger, the Browns rookie linebacker for defensive rookie of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I got it 40-1. He's now the favorite, by a good amount at the moment. So that would be a nice hit after the shit season we've had in the NFL to hit a 40-1 future.
Yeah. I hope you get that. Let's quickly squeeze one more topic in before the break here. I often caution you against betting on the Cowboys or believing in the Cowboys or doing really anything
you shouldn't
more money in the Cowboys.
Right.
So when a team says that they aren't starting their 2-star wide receivers for quote unquote disciplinary reasons, typically, but then they play and they both play great in a night game. What does that usually mean? They're available. They're healthy.
Yeah, they did something dumb, and they're just being punished.
The two of them together did something dumb. What are they staying up and playing Xbox? What's going on there?
That means they missed curfew. They didn't show up to, a meeting on time. They were late for the travel party. This home game, I guess that wouldn't be a problem. No, that was a away game. They're late to the bus. It's not, if you're just down a drive, it's not a big deal. It's just to show everyone, I guess, that you're paying attention to the players and that if they do make some of those mistakes, you at least hold them accountable for that.
So it's likely that they were out super late.
Did they report that they missed curfew or something at the hotel?
Well, yeah, it seems likely they were in Vegas.
Here's the thing.
A couple guys with a lot of money in their pockets.
Well, they weren't at the casino because you would have known that. I mean, everyone would have taken pictures of them. Here's the thing I love about these stories, right? So I'm going to probably butcher this, but Jimmy Johnson, former Cowboys coach, I'm sure you've heard the story before. They asked him about disciplining, players. And he said that if a backup linebacker was sleeping in one of my meetings, I'd cut his ass. If Traken was sleeping, I'd give him a pillow. They're not going to do anything for CeeDee Lamb and for Pickens doing anything. They're not going to, those are the 2 wide receivers. They're not going to sit them for half to prove a point. If it was Geoff Schwartz, I might be cut if I didn't make curfew. I've seen players get cut who lied about, who left the hotel after curfew and went out. They were backup offensive linemen and they were backups. They're not going. These guys can do whatever they want. If they miss curfew by 10 minutes or by 2 hours or they're gambling all night in Vegas, as long as you show up and play and you're one of the better players, the punishment's nothing. They might fine them a little bit. I don't know. They might take some money from them, but it's not going to, doesn't mean anything.
Have you ever missed curfew?
No, I'm sleeping before curfew.
Yeah, I was going to say. So how did you get roommates?
You only get roommates for the first couple of years in the NFL, and then you don't. So the first maybe 2 years I had a roommate, and then you get your own room.
And when you had a roommate, was it like you're with the other guy who wants to go to bed early? How do you find each other?
Oh, good question. Uh, I mean, what I don't know what early means. Like I would probably be, 10:30. Is that early? 10:30?
I never played in the NFL, but when I was 20 something years old, yeah, 10:30 would have been an early bedtime.
I don't know, I guess I don't know, be like, I'm going to bed, man, and I'll just go to sleep. I don't know.
What's
You
the other
turn the
guy
light
doing?
off and doing whatever he wants. I don't care what he's doing.
You're able to go to sleep with some other guy in the room just doing whatever he wants. I feel like I wouldn't be able to sleep like that.
I'm a good sleeper. Like that's my superpower. I sleep very well. One of my kids has that superpower. My daughter and my son does not. Like my daughter, she was tired last night. I gave her a kiss before bed, and she was sleeping. Like by the time I left the room, like she was not. Like that's me. When it's time for bed, man, I'm out.
Real gift. I'm not built that way. Not
My
naturally.
wife's not built that way. My son's not built that way. But like when I decide like it's bedtime, like I might stay up late and scroll my phone, but I decide like I'm going to bed now. I'm out.
Got a clear mind, Geoff. Let's use that clear, sharp mind on some not so quick hitters after the break, and then we got to hit some college football. Big weekend.
All right, we're back, and we're doing some quick hitters. I don't look at the quick hitters because I want you to surprise them with me. And I just already see them. There's some topics here that are going to be fun. Let's the second one. Really,
Yeah,
Hank.
we're
But
doing
let's
it. Here
go.
we go. There's a theme here. They're mostly trolling you. Who wins the Super Bowl first? My boy Caleb or your boy Bo?
Ooh, good question. Um, I I I would say Denver. I think Denver's a better team than Caleb, and they're in an easier conference at the moment.
All right, how about this? What if Caleb Williams finds his way to Sean Payton in Denver? How much better are they then?
They're better on offense. Yeah. Caleb Williams is starting to do some. He's still. You see every week, like the Bears. Look, they've won 5 games this year, Gabe, where they were trailing with 2 minutes left. Their record's fugazi. It is what it is. Um,
They
but
have a quarterback who can get them down the field to win games at the last
we're
minute. Like what?
we're seeing Williams. I think like every week you see a little bit more of like that USC swag and confidence come out of him. So like, I think like Ben Johnson's getting the best out of him, which is why you hired Ben Johnson.
I like how hard you're working not to give Caleb Williams credit for what Caleb Williams is doing.
He's playing well. The Bears should not be winning these games though. 5 games when you've been trailing in under 2 minutes. It's yeah.
Okay, I mean, we just did a whole segment on the Chiefs and how they win those games because that's their magic and they like figure out a way. And
Yeah,
they
but a
don't.
lot of those games they last year that they were already winning in the fourth quarter. Like they just held on to the lead. They didn't come back with 2 minutes left.
All right, I'm just saying. I think everyone bought too high and then sold too low, and I've held my Caleb stock the whole time, and the price just keeps rising. So you tell me when you're interested in buying some of my stock. I got plenty of it.
Okay.
All right, next topic. Your boy, Kurt Benkert. He's calling out Matt LaFleur. He says he can't have his eyebrows done until he gives over play calling duties. You like that idea? Good
I don't
take.
even know what this. I don't even know what this means.
That's what it means.
I'm glad those tweets just never find me. I'm just so glad they just never find me. Like I'm in a whole separate universe of like I just don't see any of those tweets. Of just does he complain about the officials still every week? Is that still his favorite thing
I
to
don't
do?
think he
Just
likes the
complain.
play calling on the Packers offense.
Well, okay. I
I
will
bet you
give
agree.
LaFleur.
I bet you reluctantly agree with that idea.
I have not watched their offense enough to know if the play calling is the problem. I know Jordan Love 2 weeks ago couldn't find an open receiver. Like there were guys open and he just couldn't find them. I'll tell you what though. Uh, so Jordan Love came out and Malik Willis went in for a drive or two against New York.
Mm,
And I got to give LaFleur credit because
mm.
he had a whole package of plays ready to go for Malik Willis. And they probably practiced those on Wednesday, maybe appeared on Friday, and he was ready for the backup. I was very impressed by that. Um, and oh, good. I'm looking at the rundown. Oh, no Shedeur Sanders. Okay, good. Just making sure we don't go
Actually,
there.
no, now that you mention it, the next topic I've already covered, so I'd like to cover that instead. Shedeur Sanders got in the game. and we have to talk about it. So say something about it.
The only thing I'll say is this. So, whatever Josina Anderson's getting paid must be a lot of money because it's odd. It's odd.
That was very cryptic. What are you talking about?
Her tweets were very.
So you see
like
what Josina Anderson's tweets, but you're not seeing Kurt Benkert go mega viral?
No, I don't see it at all. I don't know why. My algorithm just doesn't give me Kurt Benkert
You're
tweets.
just everything Josina Anderson thinks.
You're getting it. I get those from other people. Okay. No one in my universe even sends me Kurt's tweets. I just get, but Josina had some.
You're on a text thread right now. While we're here, I bet we're getting some of them.
Josina said for Sanders, against all odds, he completed a 3rd and 10 pass for a first down. The pass went 2 yards, and then Judy broke 4 tackles for a first down. And then she said, no first team reps. So this is the thing. Okay. Who boy. All right. So there's a talk about reps, right? Sure. And then you have one side where you have this list of former backup players, myself, Brian Hoyer, Luke McCown, then you have even Kurt Warner chiming in, Chase Daniel chiming in, where the way it works in the regular season game is you have 30 plays in a practice, okay, on a Wednesday or Thursday. The first team quarterback is going to get 28 of those, probably 30, okay? The backups do the scout team, and maybe every now and then they'll be like, Schwartz, go get 2 reps for the right guard. He's old and needs a couple plays off in a practice. But for the most part, the backup quarterback gets very little work. And there's 95 people, 95% of former players are like, yes, that's how it works, right? And it does work that way. And think about the Browns, okay? So Flacco was a starter, Gabriel was the backup, and Sanders was 3rd string, all right? So the pushback is, well, Dylan Gabriel got backup reps. Well, yes, he was 2nd string. Flacco was older. And as I mentioned, sometimes they put the young guy, the old guy steps out, he's too old and he practice all the time, and the backup goes in that spot. So Gabriel might have gone a couple first team reps. Then when Gabriel becomes the starter, he's young, he needs all the reps, right? He needs every single rep he can get to practice to prepare for the game. So they give him all the reps to prepare for the game. Because I think it was Tom Moore, Peyton Manning's old OC, and they asked him, do you give reps to backup? He goes, we don't practice fucked. Teams don't practice fucked. They don't, who practices at the back? Your job is to get the starters ready to play, right? Legit, he said, they say, we don't practice fucked. Why would you not get Peyton Manning every rep he can ever get in practice, right? That's the way it works, okay? But then you have these disingenuous people that former players that are so in Sanders' camp. Cam Newton's well, Derek Anderson got a few reps when I was the quarterback, but that's not the way it works everywhere else. You have these, I played for 5 teams, Luke McCown played for 7, Hoyer played for a bunch, Chase Daniel played for your situation, and so people take that and run with it. Schwartz, you're lying. Backups do get reps. No, not really. His situation might be different. I don't know why they would give Derek Anderson reps when Cam Newton, I would imagine, could use the reps like everyone else could. But you think Tom Brady took a rep off at practice? You think Peyton Manning? No, they practice all the time. The backup, that's what happens. You go into a game and never playing with the starters. I tweeted this out. My second year, in my first game, last 3 plays of one game. I'd never worked with the right guard before, the tight end, the quarterback. I was a backup. I got backup reps. Then you're a starter. That's the way the NFL works. And it's such a weird thing that we're arguing about. This is nothing abnormal. The Browns are not trying to screw Shedeur Sanders. They're not trying. He's starting this week. He'll get all the reps this week. It's just so weird, man. I don't understand. I do understand, but if you take Shedeur Sanders' name off and just put Joe Smith in, I told you Joe Smith, 5th round pick, didn't have reps with the ones before he played. You'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Why would he have reps with the ones? He's a 5th round pick and he's a rookie. I don't get it, man. I don't get the need to just make this more than it has to be. He's going to get a chance to start this week. We'll show how he plays, and he'll get reps with the ones.
I'm so sorry to have had to drag you into that take. You clearly had nothing to say about it.
It's just frustrating, man. I probably should stop talking about it because it's really no point.
I
Like the
thought that was
arguments.
fascinating,
Wait, so
I
it's funny.
haven't heard that from
So
other people. That's
so
why
the,
that's why I like talking to you.
there was a former NFL offensive lineman who was arguing with me about this, and I said at one point on Instagram, and I said at one point, like, bro, you know how this works. Stop being weird about this. He goes, yeah, I know. It's still BS. Like everyone knows, all the players know how this works. Just because one player, Cam Newton, said, every now and then Derek Anderson got reps. That's the abnormal thing. Every other player's been like, yeah, the backups get no reps. It's the way it works during the season. It's so dumb. Like, so you have guys making arguments, being disingenuous. They know how it works. You might not like the Sanders is getting whatever you want, whatever word you want to use, screwed or not giving a chance. But the fact is that Browns are operating no different than any other team in the NFL. Sanders was a four-string quarterback heading into the season, Gabe. Fourth string. Then he was third string. Then he was second string. Now, guess what? He gets to start, which, by the way, I said this season that all three of them would play, and Sanders would end the season as their starter. But the problem is, and the last thing about this, and then we'll move on to college probably, is this media storm about a guy playing, 20 snaps to end a game, and the discussion around it, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, is the reason why I think a lot of teams passed on this, Gabe. They just passed on it. They're like, I don't want to deal with this. We don't think he's good enough to be a starter, which we can argue about that evaluation. But once you get sort of out of the first round, second round, do you think teams want to deal with this? Do you think do you think the Browns in their crappy season want to answer questions about whether you gave the third string quarterback enough practice reps before you played in a game? They don't want to deal with this. His supporters are hurting him by having these dumb discussions on national TV and saying that the Browns are sabotaging him and the Browns don't want him to be successful. The Browns, it doesn't help Shedeur Sanders at all to make these arguments on national television.
I loved every second of that, but you're right. We need to keep it moving. So, in the words of Tom Moore, we don't practice fucked and we don't talk about fucked. So the NFC South, we had a few topics there. Sorry, we're not doing that. You're fucked. But I do have to ask, Jamar Chase clearly spits in Jalen Ramsey's face, then says he didn't do it, then gets fined about $500,000. Have you ever seen anything like that? Like, what do players think when stuff like that happens?
You'll enjoy this story.
Oh, yeah.
So, spitting to me is like spitting, groin punches, like disrespectful. It's just gross. Spitting, it's just gross, right? We're playing USC in 2007, Gabe. And on a play, USC only had 10 guys on the field. And so me and the right guard, we just dominated the defensive end at the time. And just he buried him. I speared him. It was what it was. Then later in the game, I got spit in the face by said player. It wasn't great. And so, but then he went in the NFL and me and him saw each other every now and then in the NFL, just the shit talking went back and forth, back and forth. I told a teammate of his what happened, and he's like, dude, he's the nicest guy ever. Why would he do that? I go, I don't know. And then he called him on the phone when we were in the car together, and we hashed it out. And then I think we're cool now. I don't know, but yeah, but I legit.
He said, sorry,
right
I did that, Schwartz.
No, I think he never admitted he did it. I would call him out on it when I saw him on the field, and he said I didn't do that. And then eventually he admitted he did it. Yeah.
Such a weird thing to do. The spit thing to me it's always gross, obviously.
But then to lie about it, he's like, I didn't do it. And bro, it's in 4K, man. We have 18 cameras on the field. We saw you do it.
Right. And you're going to get hit if you do it. The reason I find it especially gross though is, especially with you guys, you big guys, where your hands are all taped up, you can't even get your hand under the face mask. So now you got spit on your face.
Yeah, the spit. Yeah, so if you spit, so if you spit at all during a game or anything, just on the ground in your helmet, just it just hangs off your face mask. It's gross.
Yeah, you're just trapped in a little if
you try to spit with your helmet on, just on the ground, it's just gonna stick on your face mask.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah.
Well,
that was a lot of spit too on Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey had the appropriate reaction to that. You punch him in the face, correct?
Yeah. I think almost anyone on earth would do that.
Yeah.
Let's take a break, but I got to ask you about the content that we're talking about, algorithms and what does and doesn't hit. I somehow got in this wormhole of like teams showing just how much goes into getting things ready. I saw a field in Madrid being made. I saw a guy talking about all the crap they do to board an airplane, the Jaguars,
the
to fly
Chargers, the Chargers TikTok account, very big into this, by the way. I get my algorithm is big into this. Patriots
big.
as well. Seattle, I've seen them all. All right, we'll do that next. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. All right, Gabe, we're back. Let's talk about algorithm and TikTok.
Well, what mudding the ball? I don't know if we want to watch some of this. Maybe it could just play while we're talking. I had no idea how much time and effort and precision it takes to make a football muddy so you dopes can run around with it.
Well, so footballs they're very slick, and everyone has their own way to get the slickness out of the ball. And so every team does their own thing. Like every team has their own method. And you see the video we show now, like the Jets have their own, the Giants, I remember did like Eli wanted a ball a certain way. That's why the Tom Brady thing with the deflated balls was so dumb, because every team does this to the balls. Like they break them in, they put them in dryers, they put lotion on them and oils on them, and they sand them, and then like to be like, oh, Tom Brady, the ball was slightly deflated. I'm like, who gives a shit? They all do this stuff to the football. Some like them a little bit plumper, some like them a little bit less. Like, this is what they do to the ball. It takes forever to get and they do this for every single ball the quarterback uses. Now, the kicking balls, and the reason why people are theorizing the kicking is so much better now is those balls are not broken in. They're rock hard. And the ball flies further when it's not broken in is sort of everyone's sort of guess on why the kicking is even better this season than ever before.
Yeah, thank God we made kicking a more part of the game. Way to go.
I mean, and they're using, by the way, like the same mud, the baseballs, the Vermont mud that they use for baseballs.
Yeah, I saw that. Vermont mud?
It comes it's one farm in Vermont makes all the mud that they use for baseballs and footballs.
Makes the mud? You mean they just have like a muddy swamp area and they dig it up and
I guess.
it?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. One farm in Vermont does it all for baseball, all the baseballs. Well, they don't do it there. They send the mud to
do we think maybe that's like a nice word for cow poop?
Whatever, yeah, mud, sure, cow poop, mud, whatever you want, yeah.
So there might be some kid whose big break, like his hope is that 6 jobs from now he'll be, an offensive coordinator, but right now he's smearing cow shit on a football. So
these are equipment managers, so they're not coaches. EQ guys.
Well, you got to get your start somewhere, Geoff. You got to get in the building.
Not many guys go from the EQ room up to being offense coordinator, but it's certainly possible.
Well, I mean, you take the job
I have
offered, right?
Do I have a ball? Not on the micro. I don't think I have a kicking ball, but you can see like the difference in like this is like it's not great. Yeah, here.
This is great. No, people are enjoying this. This is a good listening experience. You just walking away.
There we go. I'm back. So like a brand new ball. This is like a game ball I have. Like this is it's just not broken at all. So it's like completely brand new, and it's slick, and it's just not. This is the 10 years old or 15 years old. It's a little bit different now, but they're just not broken at all. So you have to like break them in so they're able to be thrown and used.
I fully grasp the need for a broken in ball. I've thrown footballs. I'm just saying, I think that the whole there were heating elements. There were 46 hours, not 48, 46 hours of waiting. There's mud. There's brushes. There's oils. A lot of stuff where it's like, I don't know, man. Just throw the football.
Do you think that USC will have enough broken footballs in to play Autzen this weekend in the rain and the miserable weather? Which, by the way, it would be good for them this weekend to play in front of a full. It'd be nice to play like in a full crowd in the rain too. That'd be such a treat for them this weekend as they head to Eugene, Oregon.
All right, so you're segueing us nicely. Thank you. Everyone thanks you, but you don't have to do it with such sarcasm. The reality is, the Trojans played just fine in the rain, and yeah, a few less people showed up in an environmental or an eco, what the hell's it called? A atmospheric river? Is that what we were dealing with here in LA?
It,
Nobody
I
wants
don't
to
think it
sit
rained
out
that
there for
much.
that. We're not a bunch
Um,
of losers who are used to spending every day of our life in rain. We have a beach here.
Look at Riley was so excited about that win. It's like jump up and down. He won the Super
It's
Bowl.
a big
Good to
win.
know. A big win.
We did
Iowa
it.
not
We did it
scoring
by
in the second
5.
half
It
is
took you
crazy.
a last second field goal. I mean,
It did. It did. Yeah. You should win. You should win against Oregon. I'll tell you
so
that.
what do you think for this weekend? You got your hat on. Tell me about the game.
I think we're going to win by multiple touchdowns. Um, so a couple things. That just is, I think, just fundamentally a tough matchup for USC, right? So you can't stop the run, which is a problem against Oregon because Oregon is, if not the best offensive line in the country, they're the second best offensive line in the country, and they run the ball at a very efficient level, right? They, they're sixth in the country in rushing efficiency. They don't give up any negative plays. Their offense, they're number one in the country in yards per successful play, number one in the country in percent of 20-yard plays. Like they're just a very, very efficient offense. They don't have three and outs. They don't turn the ball over. And USC could certainly use like one of those tip pass interceptions they had against Iowa, but we just don't do that. We don't give it up. Now, our wide receivers are a little beat up still. Maybe that matters. I don't know. But we designed a game plan against Minnesota without them, and we were fine. Then what really the matchup is, right? Like, can you stop USC's offense? And a couple of things, Gabe. USC's offense averages 18 less points a game on the road. That's just fundamentally not good. Now, I know they played maybe better teams on the road, but it's Purdue, Illinois, who's stinky on defense, Notre Dame, who's good, and Nebraska, who's not great on defense this season, and then lost their quarterback midway through the game. Um, it just has not. USC has. I could pull up right here. USC has lost like 12 straight games as a road underdog, which not great. So like it's like this not a great spot for USC historical. I'll pull this up. I have the right number right here. I don't want to be okay. USC has lost 8 straight games as a road underdog, 0-5 under Lincoln Riley. In the last 21 games as a road dog, USC has only pulled just 2 upsets. And they're 5-16 against the spread. It's just not been a good spot for them. Our defense line is really good. It comes down to this. Can we get to your quarterback and can he get the ball out to the wide receivers, right? Like the offense for USC right now is very much just get the ball. Your wide receivers are incredible. Lemon and like they're really, really good. Can our corners hold up? Can we get to Maava? And you have a couple injuries that are not good. Like if Page doesn't play, not great. And what's Ramsey's deal? I didn't see why he left the
He was
game.
on the bike.
If Ramsey's out, that's a huge loss in this game
yeah,
for you
no,
guys.
he's a big. You named the 2 guys I'm worried about. What is Page? I can't get a clear read on Page's latest. You've been raving about him all year.
So this is why I there's many reasons why the college football needs injury report, but this is one of them, right? We're like, I'm not saying you owe us, Gabe, an accurate assessment of your team, but USC has maybe their third most important offensive player in Elijah Page, who makes a big difference at left tackle. It's a big drop off, especially when your center's been out, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Noah's been sort of beat up, and he got beat for a bad sack against Iowa. And like, you just need him to be there. And then your best defensive player, like Ramsey's, I know I mock USC for not having good players on defense. Like he's a day 2 pick. Like he's a very good safety for USC.
Mm-hmm.
And those 2 guys being out does change, in my opinion, the equation for how USC can play in this game. And we won't know that until Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 90 minutes before the game, if they're even dressed, if they're even traveling. Like, we won't know any of this stuff. I'm not saying, again, you don't owe it to us as fans, but it'd be nice to sort of know, like, if you guys are healthy or not before we handicap the game. It makes a big difference. And so I don't know. I put out a clip like Iowa had to open guys all over the field. Their quarterback couldn't find them. So if we can limit USC's touches to their wide receivers, we have really good corners. Number 4, Brandon Finney will be an All-American this season. We got to. I think we're positioned well for this one. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know where the number opened.
It's open 7.5. I got 7.5 on Sunday. It's 10 now.
Up to 10. Wow. Yeah, I mean, look, I feel like I think I texted this to you. Like, I mean, we're not supposed to win this game. You have everything to lose. If we win this game, we're going to the playoff. You lose this game, your whole season kind of hangs in the balance with whatever happens between Ohio State and Indiana. Like, you have a lot on the line. We're just kind of like, when we're in.
Yeah. No, we and look, this is obviously, I don't want to turn this into like an Oregon podcast, but I will. The thing that I have liked about this team this season, Gabe, is we have played like a very controlled brand of football, if that makes sense. Like, when you watch us play, there's just like an energy about knowing what we're doing and the confidence that we have in what we're doing. And there's not a lot of mental mistakes. Like, you're not finding like, like, I think we're number one in the country in explosive plays on defense. Like, we're just not allowing, like, we don't have busted coverages very often. Like, we're not just allowing dudes open everywhere. We don't miss tackles. It's a very clean brand of football. We went to Penn State and won, went to Iowa and won. The Indiana game feels like an outlier where just like, I don't know what the hell we were doing on offense, especially. Like, Dante Moore has looked completely different in every other game besides Indiana. I give Indiana credit, of course, but that feels like just an outlier for what we've done this season. And then last week, we finally had an opportunity with no rain. We played Wisconsin rain, Iowa rain and wind, and we threw the ball for 400 yards or 300 yards, and he completed 90% of his passes. Like, so we have different ways to win. We can run the ball, we can pass the ball. So I'm looking forward to it Saturday. I don't really love the CBS game. It would have been those guys, I don't know. They're fine, I guess. But gonna be a lot of fun, Gabe.
Well, I'm looking forward to watching as much as I can between coaching and schlepping kids all over the place.
You already started basketball, huh? We don't play games for another couple of weeks.
No, this isn't it's fall season. And we get a winter
season. Still in fall. Oh yeah, you guys start later than we do for all fall sports. We start like Labor Day weekend.
Yeah. All right. Coaching carousel. It's got big names on it. I don't know what's going on with Lane Kiffin. James Franklin's already got a new gig, right?
Yeah.
What, can't we come up with some different way to do this than just like...
The Lane thing is kind of like a little openly gross. Like, his family is like going to other campuses. Old Misses tell him they need an answer from him like immediately about whether he's staying or going, Gabe. It feels like kind of gross, right? Like the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a sport now, though. I don't know. Lane's leaving Ole Miss. That I think is certain. It's a matter of when and where he's going, and then the dominoes of that. Now, James Franklin gets hired by Virginia Tech, but there's going to be, more jobs open up possibly. There's not a lot of great candidates. Like, this is not. It's just not. You can't just mean job openings and think that all hires are going to be good.
I just wonder if maybe there needs to be an entirely different category. I was listening to Joe Thomas. This is one person we both agree is great. Listen to Joe Thomas talk about basically calm down Wisconsin fans.
I like that they kept Fickle. I think it was the right decision.
Right. So he was talking to them about that, and he was like, what? So you're going to go get like some new coach, and then he's going to lose a bunch of games too, because this isn't about like play calling and how you run a practice. This is about the NIL
players
situation on campus and transfer portal. Like, that's what makes a team good or not good. So maybe we're just not seeing this correctly, and we're calling it coach, but it's really just like GM essentially, right?
Well,
UNC is a good example. Like, they clearly, Bill Belichick didn't forget how to coach football, but he doesn't have the right guys around.
Correct. And that's why I think Wisconsin keeping their coach, Mike Locksley keeping their coach in Minnesota, if Norvell stays at Florida State, like, you have to decide, are we going to pay $100 million to bring in a new coach and buy the other one out, or just spend that money on getting better players? I would argue getting better players is always the way to go here.
It is. So shouldn't you just get some dork? Like, not this guy, but remember Brandon Staley? We talked about him a lot on this show. The Chargers dude. He's just like a spreadsheet guy. Just get some guy like that and then put all the damn money into finding 5 stars from Texas and California and Florida and get them to your school.
Well, okay, the only pushback on that is that when you get those guys and the expectations go up to win, you need to have a good coach to win.
Well, like, what is define good coach for me? Like, what are they doing that's like so much better than the alternative? They all run a practice. They all hire a guy to call plays.
But I think I think that one of it is, just simple, like, how do you structure a practice? Like how much physicality do you put in your practice? How are you preparing for your team to be physical? Like that's a big thing of mine in college football, where I think it's been a pushback I've had of Lincoln Riley's teams, where like they don't practice physical enough to win at the level they want to win. It's why they typically lose teams like Oregon, right? Like and Kirby Smart had a great thing this weekend where he said something like, I know you hate it because it's such a football guy thing, you're shaking your head. Basically with like, it's great players get paid, but if you don't have the physicality on your team, who cares, essentially, right? And he's like, we at Georgia hit and we're physical. And it's true. It's why Georgia right now, if you're putting money on someone to win a championship right now, it's Ohio State and probably Georgia. Like you have to be able, Gabe, to punch someone directly in the mouth in a game at any moment. And I think so. That's just one thing to mind about coaching that I like about some coaches, and I always sort of choose the physical coach and the physical team over someone who doesn't play that way. So I agree. Like you need someone to bring the players in, but also then you have to be able to execute and win those games when the expectations go way up because you have better players.
Yeah, and let me clarify. The part I didn't like about what Kirby Smart said was he claimed that when a guy doesn't want to be physical, and so he transfers to another school, then they schedule that school to try to beat up that player and that program because clearly they're soft.
Okay.
That's not true.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's what he said. That's just not true, Coach.
Wait, is that why they scheduled Charlotte this weekend? Is there like someone in Charlotte who like transferred?
Who cares? You don't schedule some random ass game because some random kid decided he didn't want to be in your program. Clearly, he wasn't a starter, so now he's going to some crap school to play. And what, you're going to go to that place to beat him up just to prove a point? That doesn't make any sense.
That does not make sense. But the physicality part of his game,
sure, being physical makes sense.
I very much buy in that. Yes.
Okay. Let's end on this because we skipped it last week and it turned out it didn't work out so great. It was weird that Arch Manning put out there that he and Ty Simpson of Alabama were kind of sharing notes on SEC competition. I'm not sure that's helping either of them. It doesn't seem like it. But isn't that strange? First of all, that's happening, but second of all, that he'd say that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe guys talk like that, Gabe. If they're friends, they might share notes, but putting that out there after that is, yeah, I don't like that. Yeah.
I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense if you're supposedly a Heisman contender to be sharing your sort of scouting report against your shared rivals with the other Heisman contender, a guy who's in your way for a national championship. I don't think I'm helping that guy.
Well, no, I think guys, I mean, Arch Manning is not a Heisman contender. Obviously, that's
you're right. He was given the Heisman preseason, and then we slowly took it away from him.
We did because he slowly took it away from himself by being not very good. So, I don't think I would have shared this story if I was him.
Yeah, if only he had some people around him who understood how to manipulate the media. If only he could just tap into some experience.
I know that'd be smart, wouldn't it? Yeah. Too bad he doesn't have anyone like that.
Yeah, it's a shame. Well, maybe he can be in every single ad or movie ever created because his last name is Manning. He's got a 50-50 chance. It's that or a Kelsey and everything.
Jason is making a good living post career, isn't he? Yeah. I like Jason though, so good for him. All right, Gabe, we did it. We did a show. We did a lot of stuff in this show. I will not talk to you face to face until next weekend. So it's gonna be next Monday. So next Tuesday, whenever we do the show. Good luck. Oh no, we got to figure out next week though. It's Thanksgiving week. We have to talk about this. We haven't talked about Thanksgiving.
Here's my prediction to the audience who's still here. This show, suddenly Geoff won't be so eager to talk to me next week if USC somehow beats the Ducks. He'll suddenly, his travel, the airports.
We got to do a show. We got to do our gambling show, though. We might just do one show next week. Maybe we'll do double. Maybe both of you guys will be on. We'll do a double. Like a reaction.
You guys could use a reliever, man. Bring me in.
Dude, but we could use a lot on our show. It's as ugly as it gets right now. We lost 3 games this weekend that in the last 2 minutes of the game, essentially. Giants, Bucks, and Seahawks.
Yeah, I prefer to just win my bets and feel comfortable by the fourth quarter. That's how I like to bet.
College 5-1 though. What are you gonna do? All right, we'll talk to you guys next week with Gabe, and then we'll talk to you on Thursday with Matt. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.